Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah, and welcome back to Fringes in the Kitchen at the Pour Out. Today, Mishpachah, I am going to be showing you a quick and easy, full of flavor flatbread. It is an unleavened herb flatbread. Again, that is not only quick and easy, but is filled with flavor. Sweet and savory, all praises to the Most High. Let's begin. We're going to start off with 1 cup of water. It does not need to be any certain temperature because we will not be adding any yeast to it since it is a unleavened flatbread. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of a neutral oil. It could be vegetable, canola, or any oil that you prefer. And then we're going to add a mixture of seasonings of herbs. I have used 1 teaspoon of each. I have added salt, sugar, garlic, onion, parsley, oregano, sage, and coriander. Now, this is the time for you to adjust the seasoning that you have added in. You can add more salt, less salt, more sugar. It all depends on your taste. And this is your opportunity to incorporate as much flavor as you would like. Then we're going to add 3 cups of flour. I am using an all-purpose flour, which is a mixture of wheat and barley. And after you have added your flour, you're going to go ahead and mix it. You're going to mix it to incorporate the water ratio to the flour ratio, which is again 3 cups of flour to 1 cup of water. And give it a nice stir because you want it to be fully incorporated before we go in and start kneading the dough. Now, in today's meditation, I was meditating and the Most High has sent me over to Exodus chapter 12, verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Now, Mishpachah, bitter herbs have a long and storied history of use in traditional medicine. Not only Yah gave us herb for meat and herbs to eat, but it's also healing to our body. It cleanses our body, Mishpachah. And then that also brings me to Exodus chapter 16, verse 31 to 32. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafer made with honey. Now, he does describe the look of manna as coriander seed, which looks like an off-white coloring. But coriander seed, Mishpachah, is also a bitter herb, and it's a strong flavor, but as it is strong, it's also very subtle depending on what recipe that you want to use it in. And one of the benefits and some of the benefits of coriander for your health is that it lowers your blood sugar, it boosts immunity, improves heart health, it protects the brain health, it also promotes digestion and gut health and improves kidney functioning. So again, Yah not only gave us herbs for food, but it's also for healing, to heal our body. And we all know, even from the last video, that our body is the living temple. And Yah does not dwell in uncleanness. And that's why we do not want to fill our bodies with preservative, with food that we cannot even pronounce when we're looking at the ingredient list. It is important for us to know. And we don't need to go to the store and buy all this seasoning that we do not know what exactly it's made of or what exactly they're putting into our system. For example, food dye red is actually made of little bugs that produces the red coloring. Is that something that we want in our body? Yah gave us herbs for us to fill our life with sweet and savory to our minds, to our bodies, and to our ruachs. after you have incorporated everything, you want to give the dough a nice knead. You want to knead so you could break off all that gluten fiber that is in the bread dough. And this is your opportunity. Like if the dough is too sticky, if it feels too dense, if it feels dry, this is where you're going to add in a little bit more flour, a little bit more water, a little bit of oil, depending on how it feels like. It should feel nice and airy. It should feel like it bounces. And after you're done and you know that your dough feels right, you're going to add in a little bit of oil, leftover oil, and you're going to let it rest. Like I said before, since it does not have any yeast, you're not waiting for it to rise. You're just going to let the bread rest for a couple of minutes. I did it for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, we're going to uncover it and I'm going to show you what the dough looks like. As you see, it has a little bounce when I put my fingers through it, but again, it is not going to puff up because it does not have any leaven. We're going to get a nice clean surface and we're going to start rolling out the dough. Make sure you do have enough flour because the dough, depending on how much moisture you put in your dough, it might be sticky and you don't want it for it to stick on your surface. You're going to portion out your dough depending on how much and or how little and how big you want your flatbreads to be. And as you can see, I have it as the size of my palm. I roll it out and now I'm going to make it as flat and as smooth and as even as I could possibly make it. That is rolling it from top to bottom, side to side, and flipping it around for you to get the consistency and also the depth of flatbread and the size that you want it. Now, this is a great recipe for you to add into your daily meal, or if you want a quick snack, go for it. This is your opportunity for you to be creative. Okay, Ms. Bacall, we're going to check the width of the flatbread. And you can see it's nice and even. And you can see, look at all those herbs. It's filled with flavor. And it's great, let's say if you make some pasta, it's a great side dish as well. If you want to eat it with a nice salad, this is your opportunity. Or if you want to make some fajitas and you don't want, again, we don't want to buy store-bought, you can make your own fajita dough by doing the exact same recipe. The only difference is that you're going to roll it out thinner. And I am going to go ahead and just show you the process once again. Now, the way I do it is I roll out maybe 1 or 2 flatbreads before I put it in the pan, or as one of my flatbread is heating up in the pan, I go back into the table and roll another one out. You could do it whichever is more efficient for you. That way everything is like it stays nice and warm, and it's just like a cycle that I do. And rolling it front to back, back to front, side to side, it does help keep the flatbread nice and round because you're giving it an even round. And it will expand. And just move it around. And if it's your first time and it doesn't come out the way you like it, hey, just keep trying, keep tasting it. I have made this recipe so many times, and not every single time it comes out exactly how I want it. But at the end of the day, one, is still edible, and 2, you're getting your practice in. Now, I have a cast iron skillet that I already had preheated, and I want to make sure it is nice and hot. With a cast iron skillet, you want to ensure that the pan is evenly hot before you start cooking. You want to add in your oil once you have heated heated the cast iron skillet. And if you do not have a cast iron skillet, then you could go ahead and pretty much use any pan that you have available to you. But the key is in all cooking is to make sure you preheat whatever utensils, whatever pan that you have before you put your food in there. We're gonna leave it in cooking for around 1 to 2 minutes until you start seeing a golden brown edge. Now, move it around. Don't leave it stuck in one side of the pan because depending on how your stove is, it may cook one side faster than the other. And by moving it around the pan, you are ensuring that it's an even cooking. And feel free to check the bottom so you could get the color. You don't want it overly brown, but you don't want it too light too. You want to see little brown spots in your flatbread or in any cooking, just to ensure that that bottom part, the dough, is nice and cooked. And now we are checking to see if it's the color and consistency that we want before we flip it. And look, Mishpachah, look at the steam. Look at all that herb that is in the bread. We're going to go ahead and flip it. And look, nice and even cooking. It is cooked nice and even. You could see some brown spot, but you could tell that it's not burnt. And it is cooked at perfection. And that is what we want. And that, Mishpachah, is all that I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, The Pour Out, and make sure you hit the like button as well as subscribe to our channel. Shalom.